Hi, folks. Welcome back to Crisco's Corner. What do we got going on today? Breitbart News. Michigan Supreme Court Gretchen Whitmer's coronavirus orders are voided now, not October 30th. If you remember, the Michigan Supreme Court ruled that her lockdown orders were in violation of Michigan Constitution and law. She said, well, I got 20 days to appeal, so we'll keep it in force, and then I'll figure out a way around it, and basically said it publicly. Well, the Michigan Supreme Court said, no, I don't think so. Michigan Supreme Court handed Governor Gretchen Whitmer another legal defeat on Monday when a majority ruled her coronavirus orders are no longer in effect. See, the whole thing is, though, they got to keep everything locked down until the election. Well, that 20 days was damn close to the election. Then she could have probably did some legal maneuvers for the last few days, and the court said, no. On October 2nd, the court ruled the 1945 law Whitmer had used to justify a state of emergency and her lockdown orders were unconstitutional, effectively negating any executive orders relating to it. Whitmer attacked the court and claimed that her orders remained in effect until October 30th. Oh, 4 days before the election. What a coincidence. Supreme Court ruling handed down by a narrow majority of Republican justices. There's a shot there. Her own Supreme Court is deeply disappointing, and I vehemently disagree with the court's interpretation of the Michigan Constitution. Well, of course she would. It takes away her power and authority. There's nothing, it's in their DNA. Progressives and leftists, it's in their DNA. They can't get around it. They have to tell other people how to live, how to behave, what to do, how to treat each other. They just can't help it. It's just in their nature, and it's sad. Right now, every state and federal government have some form of declared emergency. That's probably true, but you know what? 95% of the states that have lockdowns are also in violation. They just haven't brought it to their state Supreme Courts or federal courts yet. Without the approval of the legislature, the governors only have so much time. They're not dictators. But what's happening is a lot of these states, and Republicans too, I'm not going to take one side, not the other, have allowed these lockdowns unlawfully. So what happens is when people start complaining to their legislators and people in general, they're going to say, well, don't blame me, it was the governor. That way, they're off the hook. It's cowardly. Absolutely cowardly. And if you saw in the last few days, the World Health Organization says all these lockdowns might be worse than the virus itself. I'm like, wow, you got to be kidding me. They got everything they could out of this virus. They took a pandemic that hit the United States and in part the world, but at least in the United States here, they use it for political gain. Never let a crisis go to waste, if I remember the saying from the Democrats. With this decision, Michigan will become the sole outlier at a time when the Upper Peninsula is experiencing rates of COVID infection not seen in our state since April. You're an idiot, an absolute idiot. And the Upper Peninsula, by the way, I don't know that much about Michigan politics, but I'm assuming it's very, very red Republican. In a motion filed last Monday, Whitmer argued that she created a date to allow for an orderly transition during which some responsive measures can be placed under alternative executive authority, and the governor and legislature can work to address many other pandemic-related matters that currently fall under executive orders, CNN said. Do you think that little sentence passed the smell test? She said right out, I don't care. I got 20 days to appeal it, and then I'll get around it. And she said so. So the court said no. On Monday, the court said no. Justices ruled 4-3 that the orders issued under the 1945 Emergency Powers of the Governor's Act are of no continuing legal effect, according to ABC 12. The majority said the decision leaves many avenues for our governor and legislator to work together. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. In a cooperative spirit and constitutional manner to respond to COVID-19 pandemic. Instead, after the ruling, Whitmer's administration issued new guidelines to the Department of Health and Human Services under the Public Health Code of 1978. Well, she moved up 33 years, which require face coverings, gathering limits, nursing home safety measures, and more. Those new regulations are not affected by the court's ruling. Oh, okay, so if I can't control people the old way, I'll control them this way. Like, to you, give me a break. It's just, why do these progressives and leftists want so much control over people? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a shrink. I don't know why they do these things. They just do. Well, let's see what else is going on. Now let's go to Fox News. Amy Coney Barrett answers questions at confirmation hearing without notes, holds a blank notebook. Barrett's knowledge and recall impressed GOP Senator John Cornyn of Texas. Well, let's see. They were asking her a barrage of questions, one after another, after another, after another. The Republicans were polite enough to ask each question separately, but it was grandstanding. I saw some of it, and it just gave me, as the Italians say, gave me agita. As Judge Amy Coney Barrett was grilled before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday, observers noted she responded to hours of questions on judicial matters without using any notes. Well, that's interesting. She really that smart? President Trump's conservative nominee relied on her memory alone for the lengthy questioning process during the second day of her Supreme Court confirmation hearing. After hours of questions on her legal philosophy and recalling her own judgments and those of other courts, Senator John Cornyn, Republican of Texas, asked Barrett about how she prepared. Being there's so many questions and it's so complicated, how did she do it? According to his Twitter post, Senator Cornyn asked Amy Coney Barrett if she's been working from her notes with thoughtful, intelligent answers. Nope. Most of us have multiple notebooks and notes and books and things like that in front of us, Cornyn said. Can you hold up what you've been referring to and answering our questions? Is there anything on it, Cornyn asked. Barrett cracked a smile and held up a blank notepad that was sitting in front of her. Pretty cool. Woman is really, really smart. And, of course, that smirk, too. It's the United States Senate notepad. Blank. The letterhead says United States Senate. She responds as giggles were heard echoing through the room, and there should have been. That's impressive, Cornyn said, because it is impressive. The only qualification, and I'm not a senator, but anybody with any fundamental understanding of the process knows if you're qualified to be a judge, how you feel about certain topics is off the table. Most social media users agreed. It's common to write down questions since senators ask 12 in a row and expect complete answers to all one user wrote. Judge Barrett uses no notes. Another said, I am shooketh at how brilliant this woman is. Barrett, 48, was nominated last month to fill the Supreme Court seat left vacant by the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Barrett was a law clerk for the late Justice Antonin Scalia from 98 to 99. She served as a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Seventh Circuit since 2017. Little side note, Justice Scalia and Justice Ginsburg were very close personal friends. They understood law is different. Now, I don't go along. I don't think Justice Ginsburg always used the rule of law. I think she used a lot of her ideology, but that's why you're appointed for life. And when they grilled her, you can go back and probably watch some YouTube videos on Judge Ginsburg, rest her soul. You could probably see she's listening. I'm not going to answer questions on specific cases, just like Judge Barrett is doing today, just like Judge Gorsuch did. I can't rule on that. I can give you my opinion on maybe decided law, but that's about it. But there we have it. This woman's brilliant. And you can watch her listen to that tirade and grandstanding from the Democrats. I'll tell you, the woman's got the patience of a saint. She's got 7 kids, probably why. Anyway, good for you, Judge Barrett. And good for the Republican senator from Texas to point that out. Just to show this whole thing is a farce. They're grasping at straws. President Trump is going to get 3 nominees, whether he wins this November or not. That's the way it is. So, folks, you know what? You need to calm down. You need to calm down. It's not going to be, a conservative 6-3 court and dun, dun, dun. There goes all of our wonderful things we want. No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. They might rule in the future on things that they don't like, but I'm sure judges, I mean, if you're a judge, half the people that you're sitting judgment over are going to be mad and half aren't. The best you can do is 50%. So you know what? Do what your best judgment is, how you interpret the law, and read the Constitution as written. That's the only requirements. Well, folks, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your attention. I would appreciate it if you could like and subscribe and push the notification bell. I'm a new podcaster, and boy, I'll tell you, it's tough getting started, getting numbers and getting people to watch, but I'm still trying. But anyway, folks, thanks again for all your attention. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.